it's Jeannie with Creations by Jeannie, and today we're going to make this cute little hinged box. As you can see, I had a little trouble with my box, just like I do with all my boxes I try to create. I left off the tabs, I left off the tabs that we needed to glue down. I did work out the bugs. Is what you're going to need is a piece of 12 by 12 cut down to 12 inches by 9 inches. You're going to need design of your choice, matching designer series paper. You will need a piece that is 1 1/4 by 2 3/4. One piece that's 2 inches by 2 3/4, and then two that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So we've got our supplies out of the way, other than your usual sticky tape or Snell, whatever you're going to use to close your box. Now this is a little more, this little piece is a little more intricate than my other boxes I've done. You're going to see, after we get our score lines on, this is what it's going to look like ultimately in the end. So all these blacked out places is what we're going to cut away. So I was just going to show you that. I will try to get this up on the blog, or I'll put a link if somebody wants to email me, or even just put it on the end of the video, hey, I would like a copy of this. Shoot me an email or a message and I will get the directions and this measurement chart to you. Okay, the first step that we need to do in creating this box is to put some score lines in it. The first score line that we're going to make is at 3 inches on the long side. 3 inches on the long side. Then we have one at 5 1/4. Eight 1/4. And then at 10 1/2. Okay, then we're going to turn it either direction. It does not matter because they're both going to be scored evenly. We have one at 3 inches. And we have one at 6 inches. Now we're going to turn it back with the where I scored at the 10 1/2 down on the right hand side. Over here where we put this first 3 inch. So a couple things we have to do. We have this block here. We need to put a 1/2 inch score line, but only to the 3 inch line. Then we need to come down to our second score line at 5 1/4. We're going to put another score line only to the 3 inch mark at 5 3/4. Now we're going to turn the box. That's what we're making, but okay. Right here where we have this score line now comes to the 6 3/4 mark. We're going to put a score line. If you back it up to 6 1/4, go to the 3 inch. Then we're going to come down to 9 1/2, and we're going to score at 9 1/2 to the 3. Okay, now this is where the fun begins. Now we have to cut. And that's the most difficult part of making this little hinged lid box. Well, you know what? First, we're going to fold all of our score lines and use the bone folder on them. This is where the fun part begins. Like I said, it's the cutting. Okay, this 3 inch square, I guess hopefully I can see that. Okay, we've got this little 1/2 inch that we put to the 3 inch line. You're going to cut in front of the 1/2 inch and then off. This whole little piece moves off. Then here we're going to cut this 1/2 inch mark to this first 3-inch score line. But we're leaving the little, this is our glue tab, so it stays. You're going to do the same thing to the other side. This one, obviously, we're going to cut on this other side of this one and cut it all the way off. Same thing here. Okay, I'm going to pause the camera so I can do the cutting, and then I'll come back and show you the cutting. So I will see y'all on the flip side. All right, I am back, and as you can see, I've removed the pieces that were here on the ends, and then I removed the pieces that were after the little tabs. Now you can kind of get an idea. And then I removed this section, so the 3-inch sections are gone. Now you will also want to just kind of put a little notch in the end of each of these little tabs. It doesn't have to be a big notch. And if you have any sticking over when you fold the box, you can always readjust. And mine are not uniform, as you can tell. There's different sizes. And then, let's get this edge here. Okay, now, if you see this funny little shape here, that's what we're going to create next. With the, not your big 3-inch end, but your little tiny 1.5 inch end. Put that up towards the top, or actually however you want to do it to make it easier for you. For the camera's purpose, I'm going to have it facing towards the top. Okay, this ruler's a little bit odd compared to most. Okay, I am going to put a little mark on this bottom piece at 1/4 inch. I'm going to do that on both sides. Okay, now, I should have already cut that, and I didn't. Okay, we're going to cut these 2 score lines up to the 3 and 6 inch mark. I need some bigger scissors, but these are the sharpest little pair. Okay, now we have that. Now we're just going to kind of disregard these 2 on the end for a moment. Okay, from this inner edge, the inside edge, it's your 3 and 6. Okay, you're going to measure 1. Oop, it would help if I have inches, because sorry if anyone's from Europe watching, I do not know my metric system that well. Okay, 1.5 is, make sure, yes, 1.5 inches, and hopefully it'll make sense in a moment. And I'm measuring, if you can see the little raised score line, I'm putting my first part of my inch line just to the inside of this score line. You see there's a ridge down the center between the 2 lines. I'm putting it on that the inner line. Okay, 1.5 right there. Same thing over here. Put a mark at 1.5. Okay, now we have the other little dot. If you have a razor blade tool that you want to use, that's fine. I'm drawing a line, and I'm just going to cut with a pair of scissors. I do not have a razor blade tool in here. Okay, now these little tabs on the end, and I didn't really do any measuring, but you're going to kind of maybe make them, and they don't have to be measured exact, but I would say like a 1/2 inch cut, and then kind of notch. So in other words, we're going to remove these but leave these little tabs. Okay, this one we're going to cut. I do have a bigger pair of scissors here. They're just really old, but we're going to try that and see if I can get one big cut. If I can hold the paper. Okay. One big cut. Let's push up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Let's do the same thing on this side. Hopefully y'all can get what I am doing here. Alright. Now we're going to go back to the paper snips for this. We're going to cut here. Same thing on this side. And then just notch them down. Oh, thank goodness. Goodness me. Okay, hopefully y'all can see this design. It started off as a square, then we removed certain bits and pieces off of it. Okay. Now, as I showed you earlier, now I just got to find them. I buried them under my note that I have here. Okay, I went ahead and pre-cut pieces, make sure we got the box going the right way. So we're going to go ahead and add some Snell or adhesive of your choice. Line that up, pop it on. Hey, and if you did watch my other box videos, you will see that I always forget this step, and I try to add them after the box has been made. But look, today I remembered, and I'm getting them stuck down beforehand. Put a little bit on the edge. Okay. Now I gotta remember. Okay, that's the bottom. So we do want a piece here. And then one last one. I am so slow at some of this stuff, and you know, maybe I'll get faster. God, I seem like I'm 100 years old, and I'm not that old. Alright, that's a little crooked, but so am I, so that's alright. Okay, and to speed this one up, I'm not going to use the sticky tape, but, well, we will. Let's go ahead and do sticky tape, because there's also a little sticky tape technique that I use to kind of help. And put it as close to the seam as you can. I think that probably will help. Okay, I have got my sticky tape down. Now, and other people may have done this, and I'm sure I have seen it. That's probably where I picked it up. But instead of trying to go ahead and peel it up now, which that one, because I messed it up, I could grab. But take your bone folder, your bone tool, and just run it across here first. And press pretty good. You may want to do these to get some of that Snell down. That, to me, this also makes the little plastic strip across the top come off so much easier, as I can't grab that one. Alright, now once you get your Snell down, or your Snell or sticky tape down, or whatever you choose, Tombow, 2A glue pen. Okay, now we're going to build the box. And that's real simple, by just folding in, lining up your edge. Okay, and I always go over the inside as well. don't press too hard in case you don't have it lined, because I don't think sticky strip is very forgiving. Okay, now you can see why we wanted this to be 1.5, because when we fold this, you want those to line up. You don't want this to be too long, you don't want it to be short. Hi, for this we're going to try something. As you can see, that flower is a really big flower to go on there. But I'm going to, this is in front of you, I'm experimenting, we're going to see. Let's go around. Let's give all these petals some lift. Okay, I'm going to get some of them aren't curled as much, but that's all right because they're going to curl in a second. All right, I grabbed, this is from the storage caddy for the clear block storage caddy. Put my pen in the center and let's give that a good squeeze. There we go. Okay, now let's come in with some of the flowers. I'm going to do the same thing with those. Let's do the other one. I'm not going to do this one quite as much. Alright, let's decide. What configuration do I want? I think that order. Okay, we're going to take a glue dot. Folks, you're seeing magic happen right before your eyes. Alright, glue dot the bottom. Now, I've built flowers before, but I honestly didn't know what I was going to do for this. And this may not turn out. We may not like it. But who knows? Okay, put a glue dot. Okay, another glue dot. Okay. Where in the heck did the glue dot go? I know it was on there. No, it didn't stick. Do you hate when you do that, folks? Or do you ever do that? Y'all may not ever do that. I do that sort of thing all the time. I think I've done something and it's not there. Okay. Now it's there. Okay. Let's get that down in there. Alright, let's go back in. Come on. Give y'all some curl. There we go. Let's kind of get y'all down in there. See the backs of y'all. Okay. Now we're going to add, I've got them laying here somewhere. There we go. Let's grab some bling. Down in the center. I'm wondering if I should add, no, that's good. Okay, let's put a couple of glue dots on the bottom. I was thinking of putting a little bling on the inside of that middle Coastal Cabana layer, but that's all right. Now, let's add this. Do we want it on the lid? No, we're going to put it right here. Okay, let's open that up. Okay, Okay, now I've got stamping. I've got Thinking of You from the Moon Lake on here. I'm going to sponge the edges. Okay, now that is done. Let's get this out of the way. I have a tendency to stick my hand in when I don't want it in there. Okay, now we are going to take a dimensionals, I don't ever quite say that right. I'm going to stick it on this one side. Put it right there. We are going to bring in our little board again. Press that flower. And you can also curl the little tiny ones of these to re-push. Okay, we're going to put some bling in the center. Some bling bling. Now we need a glue dot on the back of that. Alright, our finished product. We got a big giant flower, a little flower, and I hope you enjoyed